Terrifier 3 premiered in Austin, Texas at Fantastic Fest. We learned a lot from the initial reviews from the folks who got to see it Thursday night, and a few interesting comments from the director that promises more for the future. Now let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're covering all things Terrifier as the third installment just premiered at Fantastic Fest last night. There is a ton of new info on the movie from the initial reviews and first reactions. Getting this out of the way first, franchise creator Damien Leone announced during a Q&A panel at the festival that yes, there will be a Terrifier 4. Let's go! There's no word on if a script has been written yet, but I'm sure Damien has some ideas. Terrifier 3 has to perform well at the box office too to render a sequel, of course, but it will. Come on, we all know that. This is one of the most anticipated horror films of the year. It's gonna make our $1 trillion. While this fourth entry isn't confirmed yet, some of the initial reviews tell me the third film teases another installment anyways. I want to dissect some of the most notable reviews that tease some of the brutal insanity we're all about to witness in this Christmas slasher. Before we get into that though, be warned, there may be a few things here that some would consider spoilery. If you don't care though, let's get into it. Starting off, we have Spencer Charnas from Ice 9 Kills review. If you haven't already heard, they're doing a song and music video for the film that premieres this October. I cannot wait to see it play on the big screen after the double feature of 2 and 3 in theaters, baby. Spencer's review reads, "Holy nothing will prepare you for the beautiful brutality that I just witnessed on screen. Terrifier 3 is one of the most vicious films I've seen in years. I already want to see it again." He loved the film, as you can see, and with many positive reviews from horror fans that we're about to get into, I'm dying to chew on this hunk of meat. A rotten, diseased, and bloody hunk of meat, that is. I'm not gonna lie, this next one might be my favorite of the whole lot here. The Adam Review writes, "Ho ho, horrific and shocking. Art the Clown is back with sinister vengeance. Twisted holiday fun with gore galore. Violent climax that'll beat your meat bloody. Not just another scary movie, it's the best Terrifier film ever. A fitting end setting up what's next." I love this guy's reviews. He always has some nasty innuendo thrown in there that always gets a chuckle out of me. Anyways, that sentiment at the end discussing how the third film is setting up what's next echoes a lot of the other reviews, including Sean Chandler's, might I add. Terrifier 4 is being set up in this flick, so the story ain't over yet, folks. This next review from @SillyDeadite made me smile. "Terrifier 3 blew the damn roof off. Gonzo slasher horror cranked up to 11, bursting with some of the most fantastically diabolical kills ever put to screen. Shower scene will go down in history. We have a new contender for best horror movie of the year." This review reinforces my insistence on calling the shower scene the showcase sequence of Terrifier 3. You know, like Dawn's hacksaw death in the original and the infamous bedroom scene from the sequel. Slow, drawn-out sequences of viscera and pure torture. I know some of y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm telling ya, this is it. There are so many clues! Watch my shower scene theory video if you haven't already. This next review comes from Phil Noble Jr., editor-in-chief for the absolutely legendary Fangoria magazine. "Terrifier 3 just might be the goriest movie to ever grace a multiplex screen. David Howard Thornton having a blast, funniest he's ever been as Art. Lauren Levera put through the ringer, possibly the most physically put upon final girl since Marilyn Burns." Wow, that's some high praise for our final girl here. We can already tell from the trailers that she's clearly having a tough time adjusting after the trauma she went through in Terrifier 2. Now the reviewers are comparing her to Sally Hardesty at the ending of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh my god, I'm dying to see what this character arc looks like. Considering that she's going to the Terrifier to pick up her sword that she left there, maybe we'll even be answering questions from the already established lore. Speaking of lore, there are so many reviews praising this film's expansion of just that. Noah Levin at Z Productions writes, "Terrifier 3 goes there and then goes 54 steps further. An absolute splatterfest of unseen proportions. Shower scene that will go down in history. Lauren Levera is such a great lead. Lots of twisted and neat toe dips into the lore. Getting very Hellraiser up in here. Damn." So not only did we get another nod to the shower scene, nice, we also got a taste of what they might be doing with the lore in T3. Noah here says it's very Hellraiser, which makes me think about that freaky blacksmith demon. Who is that? Is Art just a Cenobite wearing clown makeup? Will I summon him if I solve David Howard Thornton's Rubik's Cube? I need answers! Julian Singleton at Gambit1138 writes, Terrifier 3, Christmas is solidified as the goriest time of the year, as is Lauren Lavera's rep as a final girl for the ages. No one's safe from Art the Clown's chaos. Tightly focused and gnarlier than the others in the series, with an eye towards a brewing holy war. Julian here hits on what I think Terrifier 4 might end up being about. There have been fragments of religious themes throughout the last two movies that I feel have a deeper meaning. That was made clear by the religious holiday setting and the literal demon in hell in the T3 trailers that we just talked about. Somehow the Shaw siblings are caught in the middle of some sort of Book of Revelations holy war perpetrated, probably, by the sadistic Art the Clown. I'm dying to get some answers to burning questions and hopefully have some new ones to bounce around in my brain. I'm hoping that the conversation evolves after Terrifier 3 and doesn't just stop with this sequel. I'm not really worried about that considering these reviews, but I am thinking about what this holy war climax will look like. I can't wait to see it in probably October of 2026. Bring on Terrifier 4, baby. There is one more review that offered up a little spoiler about Terrifier 3 that I don't really mind sharing in a video because it's so small. If you really don't want to hear anything about the events in this threequel, turn the video off now, I'm not kidding. Jacob Hall from Slash Film details two interesting nuggets of info that again aren't movie-ruining spoilers. This bit, for instance, just tells us how they reintroduce the character of Sienna Shaw. Hall writes, we first catch up with her in part 3 exiting a psychiatric care facility years after she used a magical sword to chop off the head of her nemesis, Art the Clown. Her scenes are unusually wholesome, which makes her struggle to survive, hit with a force that lends an essential counterbalance to the wanton cruelty of the film's biggest set pieces. I praised Terrifier 2 for adding an emotional layer to Art's massacre. Barbara's death, for instance, might not be the most overwhelmingly tear-jerking sequence in film history, but it got the job done. The attempt to do more than just showcase nasty kills was there, and a lot of it was effective. Now in Terrifier 3, I think we're going to see an evolution of that and some unusually wholesome sequences, as Jacob writes, that might be more unexpected than some of the gruesome kills. That's the defining factor of this franchise that makes it so much more than torture corn, but with a P. Hall also details a certain sequence that reinforces those religious themes we were talking about a little earlier. He writes, Terrifier 3 gets character wearing crown of thorns gets whipped with intestines levels of Blasphemous. Merry Christmas! It's evident from this new official Terrifier 3 poster that Victoria Hayes might be the one wearing that crown, and simultaneously getting whipped. If I had to guess why not? Did all of us really think that Art and Victoria were just gonna be girlfriend and boyfriend after their escape? Nah, Art's gonna flog her with her own intestines. At least that's what I think will happen. See, blasphemy can be fun. The review also seems to gloss over Art's miraculous recovery from the previous film, saying exactly this. Meanwhile, Art the Clown, having recovered from his wounds, which makes me think they're just not gonna explain it. Maybe Art just sticks that head right back on, takes a shower, and he's good as new. Does it make sense? No, but neither does Terrifier 2, where the clown doesn't have an eye in the opening scene. Oh, and a hole in his head, but is back to normal during the rest of the movie. It's probably all that satanic magic healing him, or something. I guess we'll find out soon in part 3, dropping in theaters for the rest of us on October 11th. No spoilers from the people who got to see it early. I'm watching those comments like a hawk. Are you guys excited for Terrifiers 3 and 4 now? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.